Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another edition of the Focus program. Stay focused. I am your host, Pastor D.W. Tolbert. I'm pastor of the New Hope Baptist Church here in the great city of Muskegon, Michigan, USA. Thank you again. Thank you so kindly for joining us tonight for another segment of our program. We are, as always, delighted to have you and to be a part of your time today. We have, as we always do, a great show lined up for you tonight. And we have a very special guest who's with us. We have Chief Thomas, who is the Chief of Police of the city of Muskegon Heights, Michigan. We are certainly delighted to have him. He's a relatively new chief in our community, but he has hit the ground running, and he has made an impact in the short time that he's been here already. So we are delighted to have Chief Thomas with us today, and certainly delighted to have you a part of our community, Chief. Welcome to Muskegon Heights, and welcome to Focus.
Thank you, sir. I'm pleased to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. How's your experience been in our community and the Muskegon Heights and the Muskegon County so far?
Let's talk about Muskegon Heights.
Okay.
This is not the city that I was told I was going to find.
Okay.
There's some fine people.
Yes.
Some caring people.
Yes.
Some loving people in Muskegon Heights. And I find the same in the city of Muskegon.
Okay.
You have to excuse me. I'm kind of losing my voice.
Okay.
And one of the things that I was found out when I first got here, that the news media treat Muskegon and Muskegon Heights a little bit differently than they do the rest of the community.
Okay.
In the county.
Okay.
And a lot of the negative things are shown.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out that there's some positive things going on,
mm-hmm.
and it's not being publicized,
mm-hmm.
On the print and in the print and on the TVs and so forth.
Right.
And we are trying to change that image.
Okay.
And shared information about the good things in Muskegon and especially the Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just proud to be on the show.
Yeah.
Because this is one way of getting it out.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That we're okay.
Yeah. Good.
We're fine.
Okay.
The ills that people think that only transpire in Muskegon and Muskegon Heights are really transpiring all over the country.
That's true.
So this country got a problem.
That's true.
But we got part of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the remnants are here. We won't say that it's not transpiring, but it's not as much as the media might say it.
Uh-huh. Yes. I agree with you. And you certainly hit the nail on the head when you said that, we have a problem in our nation, and it is all over the nation. There's trouble and there's difficulty and there are challenges. And certainly, we're no stranger to that here in the Muskegon County, but we're glad that you're here. And, as I said, you're making an impact, a significant impact, and we do appreciate that. And we know your plate is full, and you have a lot of things on there, and you're trying to decide whether to eat chicken first or the ribs first. I
like that choice,
but it's full, and so there's a lot to dig into.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge is to change the culture of the police department.
Okay.
We, some kind of way, lag behind in training.
Mm-hmm.
We lag behind in technology and best practices.
Okay.
And we're getting back to that. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to create a new normal.
Okay.
And I'm also stepping outside of police work a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're taking a look at teaching the citizens of the city of Muskegon Heights,
okay,
to change their behavior also.
Okay.
Because there are some unusual things that are taking place. We're now mentoring as police officers. Mm-hmm. We're training police officers to mentor. I do a lot of mentoring. We are now teaching parenting.
Okay.
Trying to get parents to learn how to be parents.
Okay.
Well, you get a child, then you know how to parent.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily the truth.
Right,
okay.
Right.
So, in changing the behavior of the entire city, you can change the image of the city.
Mm-hmm.
When you change the image of the city, you get people coming in to work, play, rebuild home, and bring businesses into the area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another focus. We are now taking a look at blight. So Robert Peel and O.W. Wilson had it right in the first place. Okay, sometimes I tease people that in order to go forward, every once in a while you got to go backwards. Okay, so Robert Peel said that the people are the police and the police are the people. No police department can make a city safe. Only the people that live in that area can make the city safe.
Okay.
The same thing applies to Muskegon Heights and the city of Muskegon. Okay. And O.W. Wilson, broken window theory is alive and well. Bad people have the tendency to stay away from neighborhoods that cut their grass, polish their cars, pick up their paper, and, keep their home in good repair. Okay, don't be loud, don't be boisterous. Bad people have a tendency to stay away from those neighborhoods because they get the opinion you care. And if you care, wait a minute now. If they care about the way they look, they're going to be watching me if I do something unusual, especially if it's unwanted. And they have the tendency to stay away. That's our effort behind our blight enforcement. You know, we're trying to encourage people to be careful where you throw your paper, throw your trash. Keep your grass at a nice level. You know, keep your animals under control. Paint your house every once in a while. You know, things like that. You know, and I think that that set the tone for the people that live there, make them feel better about themselves, and give the bad guys the impression that maybe there's some place that I don't want to be, and you take your business someplace else. You know, so we're working on some image, we're working on some behaviors, and we're working on learning the new normal. We're trying to get the young people to understand it's not normal to take things that don't belong to you. That's not normal. It's not normal to shoot at other people. That's not normal. It's not normal to take dope or any type of control or mind-altering substance to the point where it's going to jeopardize your life. And opiates is doing that in this county as well as Muskegon and Muskegon Heights. You know, and we're trying to get people to understand that this is not good for you. And you might be hanging out with people that partake in that type of activity. But that's not normal. That's not normal. The new normal is like the festival that we just had. Had a beautiful festival.
Yes, it was.
Just beautiful.
I was privileged to be a part of it, and I really enjoyed it. Our New Hope Church, we were in the parade, and it was a great time. It was a great time. We represented, and we had the van in there, and we had some youth that were carrying the banner, and my wife and I, we were leading the way. So it was great. Weather was great. It was a wonderful time.
Let me give you a compliment. Okay. It's going to take faith-based effort in order to help us change our image and our behavior and create that new normal. Because the things that people need to learn is not taught in our educational system. It is not talked about in our social setting sometimes. But it is taught in your faith-based institution. Okay, what is normal? And I'll be honest with you, I believe, and there's some other people. There's some other people much like me. This country was made and founded for a moral people. Now let me explain. We live in an ethical society. Rules, regulation, policies, statutes, and landmark cases, and so forth. Okay. I think sometimes we forget that morality drives ethics. Your heart has to tell you that I don't want to steal or rob or kill people. And that takes intrinsic things and your type of experience with people, your type of teaching, your type of learning. The environment, like in New Hope, is what needs to get out in the streets, and you'll see the behavior change.
That's true.
You know, and a lot of people, I don't think they get that. That you look at the United States Constitution, a lot of bad guys will quote that darn thing to you. I don't think they've read it. Okay, it said, "In God we trust." Okay, and they talked about "Thou shalt not." You look at some of your Supreme Court cases; they tell you "Thou shalt not." You know, and it's based upon that morality. I think a lot of people don't understand that document they call the Constitution was based upon folk like you that said, you know what, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And some of the things that we are getting involved in right now, and sometimes, especially on social media, we teach each other to be nasty to each other, to be vile to each other, to be mean, hateful to each other. And we praise people. People become famous doing bad things to each other.
Yeah.
I saw on Facebook where a fight was videotaped.
Yeah.
And they were great fight. And they were talking about how well that the two young ladies involved in the fight handled themselves. And I'm saying, wow. I mean, she had a big patch of hair pulled out, her clothes were ripped off, and you saying that this is something that should be praised?
Yeah.
That mindset,
Yeah.
They need to come see you.
Right.
So
I certainly hope that they will.
so they can talk to you about that.
Yes.
But it's going to take all of us. Remember that village?
Right.
It takes a village.
Village to raise a child.
It takes a village to change behavior too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't do it myself. And I explained to a lot of people, I thank you for your compliment. But this is not the Joe Thomas show. I got a lot of people feeding me information. I take the lead on some things, but the things that you see that appears to be working in the Heights and in the city of Muskegon, I get that information from folk like you. Say, we need to try this.
Yeah.
If you listen to the people, you'd be surprised.
Right.
People in my position,
Right.
you learn an awful lot
Right.
if you listen to the people.
Yeah.
And they want this done, and I'm simply that arm. That extension of them, is to get the right thing done and get our young people and our parents and our teachers and our social and civic leaders to start doing the right thing. Even our elected officials doing the right thing at the right time, right the first time, and people will acquiesce.
Right.
And I know that's a lot, to throw at the public. Just in a short setting, they have to come back for another time so you and I can talk about that.
Yeah.
Because the things that I just threw at you without getting too specific, you won't see the results tomorrow or next month. You see the results 5, 10, sometimes 12 years from now. We didn't get where we are in the Heights overnight.
That's true.
We won't rise above that. Overnight.
That's true.
And you got some people, they'll hire a police chief and say, well, I don't see a difference. Well, you won't see that difference as quickly as you might want, but you see it a little bit at a time.
Right.
A little bit at a time.
Right.
And that's what we're doing right now. We're going to eat this elephant one bite at a time.
Right.
Because if not, it'll choke you.
That's right. And, we're dealing with the same issues in the church. We have the same challenges. The same identical challenges. We're trying to minister to the family. The key to it all, I believe, is the family. The family is the oldest institution in the world, not the church. It's the family. And God, in the beginning, in Eden, he was producing a family. And the family unit has broken down, and so we're trying with all we have and trying to use every resource that we have to try to repair that, put it back together. And I'm glad to hear that, in your position in policing, that you all are conscious of that and are trying to make efforts and inroads in there as well. Like you said, it takes us all. It takes us all. It takes everyone, every profession, everybody to get involved, to become concerned and care enough to make this happen. It's gonna take us here. I was going to ask you about the support that you felt that you were getting maybe from the state level, but at the end of the day, it's about us here. It's something that we're going to have to do here in our community.
Yes, sir.
To rebuild our community. It's good to have the support from federal, state levels, but we have to put this puzzle back together.
Yes, sir. I've often said there's not a grant for everything. The money that we are getting for the Secure City Partnership Program, it's going to run out. We got to start right now start doing things for ourselves.
That's true.
Especially in the heights.
Very true.
Okay, don't look for the grants. Grants are okay. Don't look for somebody else to come in and augment you. We need to learn how to fish right now.
Right.
Because the fish that we are being given, it's going to run out.
That's true.
So I'm going to try and help people find out where the fish are and give them a pole and give them a line and show them how to dig bait so you can catch your own fish.
Right.
So that you can stand on your own 2 feet as a man, as a woman, as a family.
Right.
Okay, as a community. Unity in the community. That's what's going to have to happen. You don't depend on other people because those people are running out of money. They're running out of time. Plus, and not only that, they may not have the same effort that you got.
Right.
Okay, you need to learn how to take care of your own home. Take care of your own city. That's what we need to do.
Amen.
Okay, and not depend on other people.
Well said. Because again, this is ours. We're here, and it can be great. It can be greater than it ever was, but it's going to take a serious, conscious, purposeful effort to get it that way. If there's one thing that you could say that you would like to see from the churches in our county, in the area of helping, or what it is that maybe the faith community can do, what would that be, Chief?
I would like because the type of morality that we need in order to drive ethics, I keep going back to that, and there's a reason for it. I would like to see the ministry work very closely with us so we can talk about the neighborhoods, the people, and the problems in the neighborhood, and how that can be related into a moral setting in order to drive the ethics that is necessary in my line of work.
Okay.
And I need to work closer with you. You and I need to talk almost once a week about what's happening. Right now, we're in the process now of reorganizing Muskegon Heights. And I like to see that spread out to a countywide where we meet with our moral leaders about immoral things that are transpiring in the neighborhood. And some of them won't be very nice. So you can make that part of your teaching on Sundays or Saturdays or weekdays, whenever the church body meets, okay, to share that data with people and share that information with people so people can hear it more in more than one place.
Okay.
Because when I tell people CTSO to cut that stuff out, or he's the police chief, he's supposed to say that. But if they hear you say it, then they hear I don't know if you got deacons, but look at the organization of the church. You hear the deacons say it. Okay, you hear the mothers board say it. You know, you hear other clergy begin to say it. Then the prosecutor began to say it. The teachers began to say it, and maybe to get through. You know what? A lot of people are saying the same thing about this community. Maybe I should start listening. You know, and I think that's what I like for you know, not you, but our faith-based institution. Right. You know, to actually work with us and look at those hard stats. You know, you know that little Johnny Jones' grandmother is in the church, and she needs to know that little Johnny Jones is a drug dealer. Okay, because when something transpired, you know, we all get sad. You know, I tell you about little Johnny Jones was a Boy Scout. He had the dogs, and he had cats, and he was a nice boy. You know, no, the boy's a crook. You know, and it would take you working with the grandmother or the mom and the dad and to say, you know what, you need to take a look at little Johnny. Little Johnny doing some bad things. You know, I explain to people, little Jeffrey Dahmer didn't start eating people overnight. Somebody should have noticed that boy was doing some strange things.
That's true.
You know, and then you can nip that in the bud. And that's the kind of leadership that we need from the clergy, is to assist us, and we assist you by sending that message. I can send the ethical side. If you send the moral side, you know, and you can help me be a better ethical leader if you can put morals in people's heart. And now I know that's a little bit preachy for a police chief, but we've got research and we got data out there. It can show you where there's certain things transpiring that are just plain old immoral.
Right. Yeah. It's true.
It's just immoral.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I got 2-year-old kids being raped. There's no way in the world a 2-year-old toddler can look good to me.
Oh, boy.
What's the mindset?
Yeah, really.
You know, what drove that?
Right.
That's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Where did you learn it?
Yeah.
How can you and I get together and unlearn it?
Right. Right.
And that's what we need to do. That's why I tell people, this is not going to happen overnight.
Yes.
What is it? We're not in a sprint. We're in a marathon.
Yeah, that's true.
And I have to give us credit. We're not alone. I see it happening in Texas, Oregon.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to work in 3 other countries. I see it in other countries. I've been in law enforcement for 42 years, and every once in a while I go home and I go, what happened?
Yeah.
Why did they do that? It doesn't make sense. I just don't get it. Yeah. And maybe between the two of us, we can help people. We can help people get it. There is a better way.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah. It's it's something. The things that you mentioned. It's really kind of unnerving to hear what the level of our morals has depleted to today, and it's frightening when you consider the fact that some of these things are becoming the new norm. And we're raising a generation now that does not know that the line is not supposed to be way out here. It's supposed to be back here. It got pushed out there, and so they're not realizing that. And so, like I said, our challenges are the same, and we're trying to reach some of these young families, because a lot of families are growing up without any sense of God in them at all. No sense of God, and certainly without a sense of godliness in them, the morals are not there. Christ said, "You'll know them by their love," and we don't have that Christ-like love in us that says, I can't go past that. This is as far as I can go. That's not right. I'm not a perfect person, but I can't go that far. And we seem to have lost our sense of balance with regard to that. It's really tough, really tough.
Well, I'm going to be asking some of our city leaders to assist me by helping us parent and reorganize our city, reorganize the Heights, and through town hall meetings, the mayor is on board.
Good.
There are some elected officials on board. The new city manager is on board, and you're going to see us doing a lot of non-traditional things in that city.
Okay.
Cleaning it up. We not only clean up the city, we're going to try to clean up people's minds, and we're going to help. We're going to ask the good people with clean minds and clean environment to assist us in doing that. Okay. And we're going to recruit people to be our disciples, one could say.
Good.
Help us change the image and the mindset.
Good.
You change the image and the mindset, your economics will change with it.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Right now, you can see that there's new businesses moving into the city now, into the Heights.
Okay.
We got new businesses coming in.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
Yes.
Every time I see a new business come in, I say, you know what? That's a set of tires for a patrol car there.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Right.
That's how you build your department.
That's true.
You got to build your city. You got to build your people first.
That's true. I personally, Chief, happen to be a part of 2 ministerial groups that are in the community in Muskegon County, the MAPS group as well as the Shoreline City Ministers Fellowship, and certainly we are open to working with you and the department to try to do what we can. We've been looking for avenues on how to positively affect our community through a joint effort with pastors from all over the county, and so there are many of us working together and trying to do better things in the community to make it a better place. So we certainly would like to be kept in the loop. Keep us in the loop, and we certainly want to do what we can do as well. we're trying to do our level best. And yes, sir.
Muskegon County has a social justice commission.
Right.
And people are saying, well, it's a lot of ministers on that commission. And I said, and rightfully so. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of law enforcement, a lot of social workers.
Yeah.
A lot of ministers pooling their energies
right.
and their resources and sharing information, and sharing data in real time. We can beat this thing. Mm-hmm. We can change the behavior of people, but we got to give them a rationale or a reason to take a look at themselves.
Yeah.
And the ones that have already done that, then we can use them as examples. Mm-hmm. One of these days, I'd like to come back and talk to you about how technology can be used for the positive and not just the negative.
Right.
There are some Facebook-like things out there that we can use. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be looking at some of those for policing.
Okay.
And sharing data.
Okay.
We're going to be sharing data by text. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll be able to send you a text on your fancy watch, okay, and let you know what's happening in your neighborhood.
Right. Right.
Let you know you need to watch out for little Johnny Jones because he did it again.
Okay.
Okay. And so that now everybody's watching little Johnny Jones,
okay.
a little Georgette
right.
Jones. Okay.
Right.
They're not all males. Mm-hmm. They're doing unwanted things.
Yeah.
But now we all looking for the same person. We all nurturing the same person. And when we have to lock somebody up, we're going to stand together.
Right. Right.
As one.
Right.
And
right.
say, you know what? It's time for you to be removed from society.
Yeah.
God did that. Mm-hmm. God was not always nice like people think he is. Mm-hmm. Okay, ask Moses.
Yeah,
Moses, you don't get to go to the promised land.
Right.
Okay, and there's a rationale for that.
Right.
You didn't do what I asked you to do, Moses. Mm-hmm. Okay, Aaron, you take him across. Moses, you sit right here. Okay,
right.
You can look over there, but you can't go. Right. That's a punishment.
Right.
And that's okay. Mm-hmm. And you got some people that don't believe in punishment.
Yeah.
And I think you can help us get that out.
Right. Well, Chief, I certainly do appreciate you today. I thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. We're unfortunately, we're out of time. Certainly, we're not out of word, but I do look forward to the time when you come back and share with us again, particularly on those things regarding technology, because certainly that's an area that deserves a show all by itself. There's so much happening in that field, but I do thank you, appreciate you. I know our listening audience and our viewing audience really enjoyed it as well, and we do appreciate your commitment to our community, not only in the policing aspect, but on the social side of things as well. We do appreciate that. That's a blessing to us. And so as we prepare to leave, we want to thank our viewing public for watching today. And as we do leave, we always want to remind you to always and never, ever forget that when you get with Jesus, you're going up. God bless you today, and we'll see you next time.